And we are live.
Hello, how are you? This is awesome. I feel like we haven't been doing this for years, and
We're
yet,
back.
yeah, we are. We're very
We are back.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people, Kevin, are back with us. We're seeing all of our favorite people. Dan from Brooklyn, Donna Wiles. Sorry, I've got bad eyesight. Lori Dixon, Charles, Andrea Pick, everyone. Mandy Groff. It's so great. We've got you, Mandy. Get excited to get your beverages ready. Absolutely. Now I'm hearing like a.
Okay, we'll get there. Okay, I'll figure out where that's coming from.
We have a feed coming through our ear right now. Kevin has so much technology happening right here in this little office in Brooklyn. It's really impressive. And then sometimes it like turns its head and starts attacking us. Yeah. That's basically what's happening right now.
That's true. It is attacking us right now.
It is attacking us right now. So we're hearing the feed of our start.
Yeah, so keep talking.
Keep talking. Okay. I'm going to read some of our names. Leslie Matthews, woohoo. Good evening. We've got there. People are coming in so fast. Love your shows. Tom from Indianapolis. Thomas Blackman. Nice to see you. New England transplant here in North Carolina. Mark Kirk. Nice to see you. David Dean is in the house. Whew, we can start.
Why are you not working, David?
David, stop working. David works literally 24 hours around the clock for us, as he should.
He's our editor, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
I think people just enjoy him more than they do us, which I enjoy.
Okay.
And David Dean is excited to see Colleen, Cindy Plum, Bishop. What a great name. Bonjour, can't wait. Marianne Hansen. Hi from Bozeman, Montana. Nice. We love Bozeman. Where's my bag? That's Bozeman. Bozeman's one of my favorite places, and we were just commenting on the fact that it's been years, probably a decade since I've done any travel there. So we were thinking we need to change that.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Is winter a good time to come to Montana? I love the winter, as you will see in our first episode here, Quebec City. Raised in New England, we embraced the snow. I loved nothing more than like a six footer snowstorm that kept you hunkered down for days. You were eating the scraps, your last, Campbell's double noodle soup.
Yeah.
Those were the days. Those in New Hampshire. We didn't have takeout.
Didn't someone tell us that since kids now do remote school so well after the pandemic, that snow days are done? They'll just go remote?
We did get that notice, that there are no more snow days, which we were like, yes, they are.
Yeah. Our kids are all sick on a snow day.
Exactly. You get 2 feet of snow, you're going out and playing. You're not going to math. Bonnie Fogel, Montclair present. How are you? Bert Richards. This goes so quickly that it's hard to give people a proper shout out. So I'm sorry if I do it sort of.
That,
yep.
I'm going to make a cocktail.
Make a cocktail. And what are we having tonight, Kevin?
The French 75.
Nice. Should we tell them about your sash? It's pretty much in the because it ties into the show tonight. He is sporting a sash. It is not a scarf, and it is the official sash of Winter Carnival 2020. Every year, Quebec City creates a different sash, and the people of Quebec City and all around Canada collect them year after year. And we have a special one, and there's a whole story behind it. We'll tell you. Stephanie Cobb is in the house. The French 75s taste like New Year's Eve. Yes, it does, and we're coming upon one. Good riddance 2021, right? Hello 2022. David Dean, this was our first snow episode, and we all rose to the occasion. Again, I love snow, exactly, but I just get to be in it and play in it. But cameramen have to shoot in it, and camera people and sound people, everything freezes or fogs up, because then when we go indoors, it is a mess. We wear big jackets, which make the mics crunch and sound, and then I believe Christina, my stylist, is joining us tonight. I hope so. Just kind of keeping me look good in my hair, going from like wearing a hat to now being indoors. But it's all worth it. And this show literally is one of my favorite. And then now 52 episodes we have produced with Places to Love. Sharon Rizzo, Kevin looks like, oh gosh, where did it go? Where did it go? It just goes so quickly. Kevin looks like, I don't know. Kevin looks like what? Duncan McPherson, nice to see you. My sister-in-law is from Montreal, another fabulous Canadian city. Listen, I tell you, one of the most shocking points of the pandemic for me was when we closed our borders with Canada. That sent a shock through my system. I just never, ever thought that this would happen. Listen, I grew up in New Hampshire where we would go to Canada without even a passport. And then having a passport to go to Canada was like, what? We can't just go to Canada? They can't just come here?
You coming down?
Lovely. Oh, look at this. Now explain this to me.
So I reached out to the Chateau Frontenac bar, and they have a lot of really awesome cocktails, but they're all a little too fancy for me, and I didn't want to act like I'm fancy. So this was on their menu. It's a big bestseller for them, and it's a pretty basic cocktail of gin, lemon juice, simple syrup, and you shake that up and top it with champagne.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cheers. It's like those
Cheers.
jacuzzi tubs in the Poconos.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
It's nice.
Oh, perfect. Boy, did I marry well. Who else do we have? I just saw Andy Daniel. They've been great fans of ours, even on Corey Lee is in the house. Quebec
Lee.
City is the best. Feels like Europe, but without the jet lag. That is so true, Corey. And do you know, Corey, that whenever I travel to Canada, even though for me it's like a 2-hour flight, when I arrive, I'm tired, like as if. And that's how the feeling of Europe really settles in. That's how much like traveling to Europe it is. And then you smell the waft of cigarette smoke, which you don't really smell in the United States anymore. And that just really seals the deal. You're like, I feel tired. I'm seeing old buildings and I'm smelling cigarette smoke. I must be in Europe.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're in
Yeah.
Canada. So I love that. Liza McCardle, same in Detroit. We would go to Canada for dinner when I was a kid. Exactly.
Here's a fun one. Christine Massey
Oh,
Stella
nice. Yes.
getting married at the Frontenac in June.
Wow.
I think we know. I know the room that you're probably getting married in. We spent some time in some of their ballrooms there. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a phenomenal place. Oh, please send pictures. I would love to see that. That's going to be gorgeous. It's interesting. I've actually never been to Quebec City when it wasn't winter because I grew up in New Hampshire, so we would travel there. And fun story. I think we cut this from the show, didn't we? We did end up cutting it. But my very first great hotel experience was the Hotel Frontenac. My parents took us there as kids. And we used to only stay in motor lodges, right? It was, but staying there was like being in a castle. I will never forget it. And the one thing I always remember is, I think I was like 8 at the time, they had these mail slots. So on every floor, there was this big gold, like bronze, thing that you would put your mail in and it would go down to the lobby. And for some reason, that just tickled me pink. Like I didn't care about any of the other fancy stuff. Just the fact that you could send your mail on your floor. I thought, well, now that is how the wealthy do things, isn't it?
Hey, I think we're getting a little carried away because we thought we would kind of take us back to the last time we did a Facebook Live.
Oh.
And you might remember Le Breton.
Breton, and hey, we could have worn them because it's French.
It's at our house.
Right.
We have them. Yeah, that was our last Facebook Live on board the Ama Dolce, right? Wasn't it the Ama Dolce?
Colleen, what was it? It was the. I
Colleen
feel like
on?
No, Colleen Casey's here.
Okay.
And
Ama Dolce.
yeah, was it the Ama Dolce?
I'm
Okay,
80%
yeah, all right.
sure.
Yeah, all right. Through Bordeaux, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun there.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided to do our Facebook Live.
And we pulled it off.
Yeah.
Well,
a la Breton.
it's hard to do
we did.
something live in another country and think that it's going to work,
It's true.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And then, talking about, the sponsors that we so love that help us make our show. Just a month ago, we were on the Rocky Mountaineer in the U.S. Rockies with our new friends there. And we will be in the Canadian Rockies in May.
yes.
And
yeah.
if anyone's interested, joining Samantha and hopefully me, if they let me, that's May 7th through 14th, starting in Vancouver and going to Lake Louise, I think. I think it's Lake Louise.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just the epic landscapes. And what we did the Rockies to the Red Rocks.
Yes, that was Moab to Denver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I mean, while we were in Utah, we were on train tracks that had never been for passenger trains. So passengers had never seen this landscape. And you go through these incredible just with these massive rock formations. And you actually start right close to Arches National Park. So you could...
Joyce was with us.
Joyce, all right. Hey,
Joyce.
You actually you get in a lot of the different national parks while you're there. Obviously, you're not on the train, and then you hop on the train and you travel for 2 days. I wish it was longer because it was really fantastic. And no, you don't stay overnight on the train. Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually even better. Like, you stop and all your bags are taken. You don't even see what happens, and you automatically go to your hotel room. They give you a key. You don't have to check in anywhere.
It's really
just
strange.
like, I'll never be the same again. I'm like, I didn't have to bring my bag. I just literally was handed a key, and I could walk to my room off the train, which was right across from the train station. Beautiful hotels, by the way. And then the next day you just left your bag and you walked on the train, and then your bag arrived, and it was just like...
It was very strange leaving your bag in your room and then getting to your next hotel room and your bag's there.
As the executive producer and I'm the host, I feel like this is the kind of star treatment that I need going forward in season 6. I'm like, what do you mean I have to carry my own bag?
Yeah.
Dream on, right?
Mark asked a very important question. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mark, they're pretty good.
Oh, boy. They're really good.
I jazzed it up a little bit by putting in, instead of a lemon twisty thing, I did a little sprig of rosemary. Mm-hmm. Kind of winterized.
It's perfect.
Winterized the cocktail.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Oh, Dan, I wish I could have been there with you. I was at Disney World for my birthday instead. Nice.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Hope things are good at WNET or 13.
Yeah, I know. And Jenny Pickens is on right now.
She is?
Yes, Jenny Pickens is on. Jenny Pickens is a phenomenal artist. And we actually featured her in our Asheville, North Carolina episode. And what's interesting about the 2 episodes, because we have Quebec City, which was our first episode of Season 4. And Asheville, North Carolina will be our very first episode of season 5.
Yeah.
About halfway through production, we start to realize that there was one episode that really just, bam, was going to start us off right, that just everything gelled perfectly, and the people were phenomenal, and Asheville, North Carolina was
And Jenny Pickens is
and
that
Jenny
people.
Pickens was just phenomenal. Just bought a piece of her art. We should have it for the show. We'll have it displayed, I think.
Yeah.
I definitely have it displayed.
We'll take that garbage down and put Jenny's up.
Exactly. Put up Jenny's picture. Her lovely painting, because for me it really symbolized places to love. So I can't wait for you to see it, and just fabulous people. So we're so lucky we get to meet so many great people, and we all stay in touch. We really do, because they really change us in wonderful ways.
Yeah, and so we've just to kind of, again, we're trying to get everyone caught up, and we'll get into the Quebec City episodes very soon. We've been in production. We're finished actually filming now. So we filmed 8 episodes. And in the next few weeks, because we're doing these for the next four more weeks, these Facebook Lives every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be talking a bit more about some of the episodes, what we're doing. But just to kind of officially state it, 8 episodes beginning to air on your local PBS station the second weekend of January, because like the first weekend of January is like January 1st, so we didn't think that made sense. And as Sam said, Asheville is our first episode. We're really excited about that.
Yeah, that's
we've been really busy filming. We're done filming. Now we're in the post-production phase of getting all the stuff delivered to the network. Today, our second episode got delivered to the network. And which one? Oh.
Wow, we got Brenda's in the house. Where did she go? Brenda. Yay! Hey. Hi, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
How are you?
How's it going? Congratulations on your grandchild. Sorry.
Ooh, and Canadian.
Yeah.
She's a Canadian.
Yeah.
Seriously.
From Regina, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lives in Montreal, though. So speaking of Canada, so, we're talking about all the stuff we've been doing since we saw you last in August. I just want to say I've been doing some very important things. You can see me at the USA Curling Olympic qualification. That's me right there in the green jacket checking my phone after Team Peterson won the qualifications. That was a lot of fun. In Omaha, we went, 2 friends of mine on my curling team, and we went and saw the guys qualify, the 2 different men's and women's teams qualify for Beijing next year. It's really exciting. That's what I'm up to. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Curling.
I explained to somebody, because friends of ours were like, where's Kevin? I'm like, well, he's in, where were you? Omaha. Like, why is he in Omaha?
Omaha.
And I told them, but then I said, well, what spurred him going was because you needed to maintain your status on United. And what are those trips called?
I have no idea what they're called.
Okay, so at the end of the year, anyone who has status on the airlines and you still have miles to keep up, what you'll do is just do these random trips from New York to Los Angeles, as far as you can go, just to get the miles so you can maintain your status. Mm-hmm. And so Kevin, that was what started the thing, and then he realized, oh, wait a minute, I could go to Omaha and have this phenomenal guys weekend, and it turned into a great guys weekend.
It was a lot of fun.
Really proud. And then he maintained his 1K status on United, which then he can give to me, his spouse, which is lovely.
Yep.
And that just means that we get to board the plane first.
Yes. Well, that becomes very cost effective when.
Oh, true.
If we book one ticket with up to 8 people, all 8 people each get 3 free bags. That's 24 free bags.
Yeah. No,
just because of 1K status.
So exactly. It's huge. When you have that kind of status, you get to spread the love.
Yeah.
And when you have 8 crew members, it saves us thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So you being at that curling match was just financially helping.
Fiscally responsible.
It was fiscally responsible.
Yeah. And the beer I drank there was fiscally responsible as well.
Nice.
Anyway, so let's talk about Quebec City. So I got some pictures queued up here. Mm-hmm. So we filmed this in February of 2020. Mm-hmm. And something happened like a month later. We had all these great plans to do all these great travel shows, and we filmed one in February, and then we couldn't do one for another year or so. I don't know what that was all about.
It just doesn't matter.
But
Wander under the bridge.
So I usually try. I usually don't attend our filming because I'm with the kids, and Sam's gone. I'm with the kids. But I always try to make the first shoot of the season, and this was our first shoot of the season, so I was there, and Sam and I were at Newark Airport, speaking of United, about to board our flight to Quebec City. All the rest of the crew were on their planes already in the air. There was a blizzard coming in. I don't think it even started yet. It was just coming in, and they canceled our flight.
Just preemptively.
Just canceled it. And then when I got on the phone, even as the status person on United, I was informed that it'd be 2 days before we could get a flight to Quebec City, and we were starting filming tomorrow. So Samantha and I went home and
packed up the car,
packed up the minivan,
and drove.
And got on the road.
Yeah.
From Brooklyn, New York to Quebec City. And this was, you can see, as we left, it was 52 degrees.
Yep.
At 12:24.
And imagine, all of our flights are canceled, and it's gorgeous.
It's 52 degrees.
I don't understand this.
And then within 3 hours, it's 32 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
And snowing.
Yeah. That was a white knuckle trip. I was the one driving at that point.
Yeah. I took the long shift with no snow, and we switched drivers, and then Sam got the snow.
Yeah, because I'm from New Hampshire, so we're just used to driving in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I love snow, and I know how to drive in snow. I was taught how to drive in snow. You don't brake. You don't brake fast. You don't.
Yep.
But I was amazed. We were on that tiny highway. And as you can see, there's only one lane that's really clear, and yet there were 18-wheelers. Remember that? 18-wheelers just passing us.
Yeah.
And that's when our whole car would shake, and I was just like, oh, we're going to end up in a snowbank. And it's one of my biggest fears that we get sort of stranded in our car. I even have one of those tools that'll cut off my seatbelt, our seatbelt. It'll crack the window right with the thing.
Yeah.
I have food in the back for days. I've got a heat source. For some reason, I've always had this fear.
I feel like you want to go on a retreat. You're just going to purposely let run out of gas so you can have your own time.
I think it's just living in New York City and surviving off of public transportation. The idea of being in your own car is who's gonna help us?
Yeah.
It's just I know some people fear the subway. I fear my own car.
So we had a terrifying. In the end, we were in the snow for maybe an hour. We knew we were going to hit it in the afternoon. We drove kind of 2/3 of the way there, pulled into a hotel. The snow hit hard. Got cleared out. We got back on the road at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And the roads were fine. We got to Quebec City by noon, I think, and we were filming. Yeah. So we lost kind of half a day, and the crew just did B-roll and stuff, so we didn't really lose anything.
No. And in Quebec City, it's 2 feet of snow? Whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's people in Canada understand snow. That's what drove me nuts. It's people were just canceling flights when it was 52 degrees. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, I understand. Like, you want to have your planes in certain places and you don't want them stranded. But still, it was like, wow. But I love the snow. Should we get on to Quebec?
Yeah, let's get going.
So you're going to see a really phenomenal episode. I tell you, the people of Quebec City just have this gusto for life that is infectious. You just love being with them. There's a happiness. There's a grab the day by the horns and just have a great time. And they, love snow. They love cold. They love being outdoors. Nothing stops them. So,
one last thing. If anyone's interested.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Next year, February 4th to 13th. It's, I tell you,
Let's take the kids out of school.
The only
and
other
do it.
festival I've been like this, I went to Carnival in Trinidad 15 years ago, and it was a really special thing because what usually happens when you go to a festival is that it's for the tourists. People go there for, the tourists go in and just do things, and it's kind of a tourist thing. Quebec City it's for them. I mean, the whole place is excited about it. The whole place is excited about Bonhomme. And you're a part of that, and it's a really cool thing. So anyway, I highly recommend it to check that out for next year. And why don't we get started with
1, 2, 3.
I'm in a destination where winter is paradise, where snow and ice only increase the opportunities to head outdoors and feel alive. It's a city with incredible history, where the architecture is regal and the streets enchanting, and where centuries-old traditions are met with jubilation every year as the temperatures drop. But it's the generous smiles of the people here, combined with their exceptional gusto, that are as welcoming as a crackling fire or a mug of hot chocolate. I've got my inner joy to keep me warm. I'm in Quebec City, Canada. I'm Samantha Brown, and I've traveled all over this world. And I'm always looking to find a destination.
Appreciating Kevin's new graphics, that Quebec City bar down below. Before, while you were waiting, we had a spinning logo. How do you do it? How do you do it?
It's a disease.
I know. But this is one of our favorite parts of the show because we get to give a shout out to our incredible sponsors who literally, this show would not be possible without. Here we are looking at the beautiful Fort Myers, Florida area, Sanibel Island, Captiva. Captiva. We didn't show Captiva though, but we did. We
I guess we did.
Departed from Captiva anyway. Oh gosh, what is the great? Matt
Lachey.
Matt Lachey, that's right, Matt Lachey Island, and just a great place to be. Really special. They were a sponsor this year, and then of course Alma Waterways, our original sponsor, back again for season 5. Can you believe this? I mean, we have had a very difficult year, and these are our sponsors who believe so deeply in the power of travel to connect us, that we still need to be thinking and dreaming. And of course, you can take these cruises. We'd had a beautiful one in Bordeaux, and everything is taken care of for you. And that's what's so lovely. And we were there actually doing the trip Rocky Mountaineer as well. When you travel with Alma Waterways, Rocky Mountaineer, through AAA Travel. Again, travel agents, the guides, everyone there is to make sure that your trip just goes without a hitch. And I know especially now, because of this pandemic that, peaks and then comes down, and peaks and then comes down. It's really wonderful to have these people on your side, making sure that every step of the way you're just taken care of so you can just enjoy.
I'm starting my trip on the banks of the mighty St. Lawrence River. It's a cold 7 a.m., and I'm trying something I never imagined I would. Ice canoeing.
So when there's ice, the captain will say, "Get ready, we're gonna go on the ice."
Okay. Are you gonna say that in English or French? I'll try to say that in English, but it might slip a little bit, like up avant, which is in French.
Up avant.
I'm Caroline Boyot.
I'm Lauriane Ouellette.
And we're ice canoe racers.
Ice canoe is a mix between rowing and running on the ice.
The challenge with ice canoe racing is just to be the fastest across the river and the fastest to go back. And so we have to find our way through the ice and the water to be as fast as we can.
Any questions?
I'm gonna do it.
I certainly had them, but all are answered at the Canoa Glass Experience, where just about anyone can try their hand at this unbelievable sport.
And then up in front. Up this here. And then you just have to do like this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
What you have to get your head around is that at some point while on the water, you will have to get out of the canoe. Kinda. And this takes a bit of maneuvering.
I got it. So I slide the oar this way.
Yeah,
it comes
exactly.
out. I put it in.
Exactly.
I don't hit either of you two
Exactly.
with a 10-foot oar. That won't happen. Good morning. And then I don't leave the boat.
There
Put
you
my
go.
knee in here. Swing over.
Exactly.
I
That's
don't
perfect.
decapitate him with my clamps.
Hey, woohoo!
And that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
This is easy.
And up we go. Let's go.
And you just jumped right in there.
Perfect.
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely
Up
loved
in
it.
front. Up in front. Up avant.
I couldn't quite believe what I was doing though. And so you literally, once you get to an iceberg, you just carry the canoe. But what you don't see is that that's not like a solid thing of ice. There's big chunks along the way. Well, maybe
Yeah.
you can see it.
This
And your
sport
foot just
was
kind
born
of
of necessity.
goes into the
Back in the
water.
day,
And at
before
one
there were
point, our
bridges and
cameraman
hard-working ferries,
was
there was
on
only
the ice
one
floe,
way
and I
up.
just saw him kind of disappear, and then we quickly got him up, and I was like, oh my gosh. So it was a little nuts. It's a nuts to be a sport, but it's also equally nuts to be filming it. But one thing that I thought it was going to be cold, and you are so burning hot, you would not believe it.
Iceberg I've ever walked on. Okay, let's go back. Up. Excellent.
When I first saw the two words ice canoeing, I thought, that's the most Canadian thing I've ever heard. I mean, seriously, does this sport exist anywhere else in the world?
No. The conditions that we do have on the river here, I mean, you can't find them anywhere else. This is where the river gets a bit more narrow. So because of that, there's a lot of ice, current. It's really more tricky here than it is in Montreal, for example. So you are right now in the best spot to do ice canoe.
Crazy.
So, on arrête ici? Ouais. Did we win? I think so.
Cheers, guys. Oh my gosh.
One thing that happens that doesn't in the actual sport is you get to take a cookies and hot chocolate break on an actual ice floe.
You can be back tomorrow and you will never see the same scenery as you're seeing right now. The ice would be totally different. You're gonna have more ice, more wind, less wind. Depending on the tide, it's always changing. So
Cheers to being a part of the team. I appreciate
Tell
it.
you, if you
Thank
ever go to Quebec City, absolutely do this. They said they help everyone. Doesn't matter the age. You just have such a fantastic time, and you're very
Canoeing
safe.
on
I know
the
it looks
ice
crazy,
is as
but
old as
it was
Quebec
safe.
itself. But there's
This is a
something
little
else
safer,
that
though.
old, and it's
The next
celebrated in places like this.
Why do you like the traditions of old Canada, of old Quebec so much?
Because I am one of them. Mon nom est Pierre Fauché. I'm the founder of Cabane-Lapierre. This farm has been in the family since 1905, and it's very important for me to keep the traditions alive.
And for the rest of the world, we taste your heritage through one of the most delightful products ever to come out of a tree.
Quebec produces 80% of the world maple products. Not because we're better than anybody else, but all the trees are in Quebec. Most of them are growing in Quebec.
I'm looking at these trees and there are buckets all around them, so I'm assuming these are maple trees.
Yes.
Are they producing any?
Yes, it's maple water. You see maple
Oh my
water.
goodness!
Maple
Whoa.
water. Here you have this tree will, providing it freezes at night and thaw in the daytime, then the maple sap will come up the tree and fill the bucket.
That tree filled that bucket?
A maple tree will give about 60 liters of maple sap a year. That's not much because it's a liter and a half of maple syrup.
Oh, when you have to
takes
boil it down.
40 liters to 1, yeah, exactly.
Once the tree has done all the hard work of getting the maple water out of itself, now it's turned into maple syrup, which is done in the sugar shack.
This is an old-fashioned evaporator. This is where we
Inside,
make
the
our maple
steam,
syrup on
thick
wood
and
fire.
sweet, mixes with the smell of burning wood.
I don't know if there's a more Quebecer thing than being in a sugar shack with an open fire reducer boiler thing.
Everyone wearing their plaid
Yeah.
and just not ironically.
Yeah, the smell, the smoke,
There's no Brooklyn
the
hipsters
smell of the
there.
smoke, the smell of the maple, and the snow outside. It was pretty magic, that little
Yeah,
spot.
it
Where
really
the
is.
maple syrup finishes. 219 degrees Fahrenheit. That's when the maple syrup is ready, and then we pour.
Well, how do you know it gets to that perfect temperature?
When we take the syrup,
Yeah?
and then it starts to break.
Okay.
Long drop break. It's ready.
You don't have just like a temperature gauge in there telling you, or a computer or an app telling you that
Not
it's.
bad, man. No, I know.
You just go by your eyesight?
We can see it. It's there.
So, what type of taste is your maple syrup?
Not the best.
But if you're going to put all this effort into creating maple syrup, you're going to want to share it.
we're
And
messed up.
share it they do at La Caben's restaurant.
So one of the they just showed a bunch of the
Santa.
cans of the maple syrup. One of the benefits of us driving there was that we brought a case of that maple syrup home.
Oh boy, we went through it.
And we went through it. Yeah,
I know. That was so good.
yeah.
Got to go back.
Right
February
next to the
4th.
source, Pierre's son Stéphane is the co-owner. La Cabane à Pierre inspires some serious cabin goals. Lights strung across the room, a roaring fire as a centerpiece, long wooden tables for families and friends to gather, and musicians in flannel. But a visitor has their work cut out for them.
Wow.
This is the egg souffle, baked beans, garlic and parsley pepper mashed potatoes,
Oh my
maple
God.
glazed ham and sausage, and la tourtière, the meat pie.
Oh my gosh.
Merci.
This looks fantastic.
We try to put a little bit of everything on your plate.
Wow, look at how beautiful that is.
You don't have to share.
I
We
don't
can ask
have
for
to-
more.
This is where you learn there's a difference between Quebecers and just about everyone else. They put maple syrup on everything.
That is really, like, I have maple syrup, I don't know, once a month on pancakes. That is very different from the people who live here. It's a true condiment.
Right.
So, you know, as soon as you walk in, there's just this feeling of warmth and being home. It's immediate, that feeling of the
That's right.
fire going.
And tradition, I say,
Look at that
it's like
stove.
a tight pair of jeans.
Oven.
It fits everybody well.
Well, after this meal, my jeans are gonna be pretty tight.
Soaring over the St. Lawrence River rises one of the icons of not only Quebec City, but the country of Canada. Its spires, turrets, and gables have served as a regal entrance to this World Heritage City. There is no doubt that for over 125 years, Chateau Frontenac has been a sight no one forgets, including me. My family traveled here when I was 9 years old, and
Oh,
we
we
felt
didn't
it was
cut-
the
we
most
didn't cut it.
beautiful hotel we
Thought
had
we cut
ever
that.
visited. Right outside the hotel is a funicular that originally opened in 1879, and it takes you down to the beautiful district of Petit Champlain. As the site of the first French settlement in North America in 1608, it's a wonderful area for a historical walking tour. But one of its biggest draws is its main street, Rue de Petit Champlain.
Here in Quebec, I was walking all over the city, the old quarters especially, and I was walking down this street, which I've been told is not only the most beautiful street in all of Quebec City, but really all of the world. It's considered one of the world's most beautiful streets.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
My shop has been open for 39 years. I've been covering for over 45 years.
My goodness. Looking around your shop, you run the gamut of themes here, from, of course, the architecture of La Chateau Frontenac. I see the Santa Claus, but I also see cats and marine animals and just everything. So you have a little bit of everything for everyone.
I sell Santas all year round, even in August.
Of course. That's
Very
when I buy
popular.
most of my Santas. Yes, I'm gearing up. I'm getting excited.
I had a lady from Florida, she bought 11.
You know, when I scouted this, I literally just built time in to walk this street to find the right person to talk to. And I went into a bunch of places, and he was just a great character,
Oh,
great
yeah.
story, great business. You know, they actually carve. They actually carve all those things upstairs.
There's no question that Allan has a warm and inviting shop on one of the most inviting streets. But the Rue de Petit Champlain wasn't always so enchanting, and Allan was part of the effort of local artists and shop owners who turned it around.
So you came in the 80s?
Yes.
And this street was abandoned.
Well, you know, at the beginning of the 20th century, the pork industry went down. This place was literally abandoned. You'll see it on old pictures. So we had to renovate the buildings to make it that nice as it is today.
You yourself had to renovate this building?
As a group.
Okay.
Yes, we own 28 houses on this street as a co-op.
So you put your own blood, sweat, and tears into this building, and we're kind of seeing that right now in your sculpture, right? You work with your hands.
Yes.
That's pretty special.
It is special. That's what people say. I'm starting to believe it.
So that's another reason why we wanted to focus on Pierre Flamande also, because not only is he an artist, but he was a part of this co-op collective back in the 80s that personally was responsible for making that what is now considered one of the prettiest streets in the world. And again, it's just that personal effort we see time and time again from people that you never really know about, that when you're walking down that street, you think, oh, maybe it's big money or it's corporations. No, it's people.
Yeah.
Quebec City in late January or early February, you will notice a certain smiling snowman is everywhere. This is Bonhomme, the beloved ambassador of Winter Carnival. This is where Quebecers' full embrace of winter is on display.
Dream.
People of Quebec
I'm
don't
just dying.
hunker down from the cold. They dance, play,
Look at that.
drink, and
It's a fantasy.
So
It's just a fantasy.
We're gonna-
These are things that I used to dream about.
Yeah, we're going to get into this really fast, but I think that carnival is special for a lot of reasons. One of them is that every year, everything is different. That whole thing with the slide, that was for that year. That was 2020. That same square a year later will be something totally different, of different themes. You know, Bonhomme, who we'll meet in a second, is there obviously all the time, but the amount of effort and creativity that they do to continually engage with their community there and engage with tourists. So you want to go every year to see, you know, as simple as like this pattern for the sash. Well, that was that year's pattern. You know, the next year will be something different. It's you know, so this scene was great, but it's funny, when I was there scouting, this hadn't been built yet, and they were trying to explain it to me, and they couldn't show me footage from last year because last year would look totally different. You know, it's a really cool thing.
But for visitors of all ages, there's one moment everyone looks forward to. There is no way to totally describe how Quebecers feel about meeting Bonhomme, but this comes close.
Samantha!
Oh, Bonhomme, finally we meet!
Yes!
Oh, you're even more beautiful in person.
Well, thank you. You too. You have a beautiful smile, Samantha.
You
Very
do.
festive.
Thank you so much. Wow. What are your duties? What is your goal and mission as Bonhomme?
To be as visible as possible. Well, you'll say it's hard to miss me. You know, I walk around, we take pictures. It's a dream for a lot of people. They come and say, oh, finally, Bonhomme, I get to meet you. And then we take pictures, give hugs and kisses, and it's just like a festive time. And as far as I'm concerned, winter is not long enough. We come out, we embrace winter, and let's go and see Bonhomme and take part in the festivities.
And take part in the festivities, I shall. Woo! As with any carnival, there are games of skill.
Nice!
Yes, sir!
And opportunities to learn a new skill, like learning the ways of ice with the actual chief sculptor of Bonhomme's Ice Castle.
So I'm not sculpting anything
Okay,
right.
can you stop for a second?
Yep.
Just, I love this man. I love his accent. I love how is that unbelievable, like gusto, like go for the gusto.
His energy.
Quebecois. Dan, that's one of my favorite words too. I don't like when they call themselves Quebecers. I'm like, why would you call yourself Quebecers? It's Quebecois. You'll hear him. It's just awesome. Everything he says, I just loved. And when we had to cut some of the things, I'm like, oh, but I love when he says that certain thing. So enjoy. I loved him. He was great.
Now I'm removing.
No, just remove the part you don't want or you don't need.
All right, and I'm just going to remove big shards of it, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
At an angle.
My name is Marc Lapierre from Quebec City. I'm an ice sculptor and also I build a big castle for Bonhomme Carnaval. I love it.
That seems like a very large responsibility to have.
Yeah, it is, but on the same time, it's very fun because we have a very short time to build that big thing. It's 2,500 blocks of ice, more than 1,000 cubic meter of snow. It's a lot of job.
What's the most difficult part of your job?
For me, it's easy because I do this every day. And ice for me is very my life. If I don't touch ice, I'm not happy.
How do you give the finishing touches then? It looks a little rough to me.
Usually I will use the handsaw because we can really cut this one round.
It just feels so gratifying to do that. You make it
sound,
so beautiful.
Listen to the sound of this. This is my favorite part of when I carve. If you have a very sharp chisel, the small sound, I love it. And when you put the light, when you are done and you put the light behind or under, it's awesome.
Now, before we go, Sarita.
I love him.
You know, I think so.
And he's the chief sculptor. He is the man.
He's the guy that built the whole thing.
In charge.
Yeah, no question.
And with the one part we had to cut out of him was where he misses ice so much that when he's in
Florida,
he'll bring blocks of ice and he just carves it.
Like on the beach or at the pool, by the pool.
And I can just see him in what is clearly Canadian little Speedos because the men up there and with this huge block of ice, he's like, I sit by the pool and I just love it.
I love it. But I think the difference, and I'm going to get in trouble here, the difference between the French and the Quebecois is there's such an enthusiasm. That, you know, in France, like, everyone's got this kind of like, I can't be bothered. You know, it's you know, but everyone we met in Quebec City was so enthusiastic about what they did.
Embracing.
About us being there.
Yeah.
About
who they
people
are,
being there, the tourism.
About winter.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
just it's a really special thing. So it's very European, but that to me is not European.
That's not European at all. No. Yeah. Sorry, we're gonna get so much trouble for that.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean,
not really.
I love being in France.
Come on, you know what we mean. You know.
But I mean, they're proud and happy and enthusiastic about things. So the story about Bonhomme. So I had the pleasure of getting to go to Quebec City twice because I was there a month earlier scouting this episode, and I met Bonhomme. They gave me about 5 minutes. His handlers brought him in. I literally met him on a corner outside, and I had a really nice 5-minute chat with him about what we were trying to do, and you know everything about how we would be here in a month, all the different things. And as a gift, he gave me this sash. Let's get this messed up. Yeah, the sash that I have around the thing, and that was a month earlier. A month later, the scene that he arrives to film the scene with us, and he's saying hello to Samantha, he's saying hello to the crew, and he comes to me and goes, do you have your sash? And I had my jacket on. I opened my jacket up and I showed it to him, and he was so impressed. I mean, Bonhomme gives you a sash. You wear the sash.
You wear the sash. Exactly.
I mean, and I was so happy I did because it was, he was very happy I did. It was.
He was a love.
Yeah. All right.
You're gonna have to do my trademark move. You want to do that now?
Let's do the dance, yeah.
Well, I tell the kids, I warm them up.
Yeah.
And then I tell them to jump, and I tell them to clap their hands, and then start jumping. Like this. And then I finish it off with
I love it.
Bonhomme is so ubiquitous in Quebec City during Carnival that he's even in the lobby of the Chateau Frontenac. But that's probably not the hotel he'd stay in. Hotel du Glace, or the Ice Hotel. What it's made of makes this unique, but that's not all.
This is the only ice hotel on the American continent. Je m'appelle Yannick Lajoie. I'm an artisan at Hotel de Glace. This is my 16th ice hotel. I've been part of the project since the very first ice hotel in 2001, and I'm passionate about it.
Yannick,
Another great guy.
you help build all of this?
Yes, I did.
You're literally the maker of dreams, right? Dreams come true for people when they come here.
And that's why I'm here. I like to build dreams.
In everything that I'm looking at, is there a structure that creates this shape, or is it simply the snow?
It's simply snow. There's no internal frame, wood, metal. There's nothing. I mean, this is a self-snow-sustained building.
Cool.
Oh my goodness. We're now in the lobby. Am I?
We are in the lobby. This is the lobby. This is the hall. So, a very specific one. We are underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Huge whale, 2 whales.
Oh, look at the eyes. And the eyes are just balls of glass.
They're
That's
huge. The
fantastic.
tail.
Like traditional hotels, are there rooms? Like how far does the hotel theme go?
We have 42 rooms. Because we are celebrating our 20th anniversary, we did 20 suites. Usually we do 16.
Okay. Do you have an ice machine?
Sorry?
An ice machine.
An ice machine.
You know where you get ice when you're staying at a hotel. There's
That
ice.
would be such a great idea.
I'm on the team.
Yeah, you'll be part of the artistic community.
There's such an honesty about that. Like,
Yeah, the ice machine.
and you can see his mind
Yeah,
racing.
yeah,
Like he
it's
spends
nice.
all winter thinking about ice, and he never thought about having an ice machine. It just blew his mind. I love it.
You gotta have an ice machine.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. What suite is this?
This is the honeymoon suite. This is la suite nuptiale.
This
The
is the
suite
honeymoon
nuptiale.
suite. Oh, wonderful. I gotta see this bed. This is amazing.
Actually, wearing the same.
So, and everything is made of ice in every single room.
Everything is made out of ice.
The bed is ice. The side tables are
Yep.
ice. Wow. Do people get cold here when they stay at night?
Well, actually, inside here it's in between -5 to -8 degrees Celsius. And we provide sleeping bags that goes up to -20, even -30. So actually, we don't have that much complaint about cold temperature.
I hear that it's very healthy to sleep in colder temperatures than we do.
One comment we often receive from people is the silence. So it's really quiet.
But before there's a night in this room,
So what they do is they give noise machines because people can't take it. They
Like
can't
white
take the
noise?
fact that there's no noise. There's no noise at all. So it's not the cold, it's the noise. And the way the Ice Hotel works is that we were like 20 feet away from a major resort. And so you have a room at that resort. And then you also for one night have a room at the Ice Hotel. So at any point that you don't like this, you just go back to your normal hotel room and it's probably like 100 feet
Yeah.
walk. So, I mean, so
Yeah.
you're not like, oh my gosh, you don't have to make
don't
this
even
like
need your luggage.
decision. Yeah, you don't even.
Your luggage is in your real hotel room. That's
Yeah,
like 100
exactly.
yards from the ice hotel.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So it's all comfortable that you can
yeah,
you can enjoy it however you want to enjoy it.
yeah.
And there's even suites that have like hot tubs or saunas or something like that. There's like
remember
one or
that.
two that have.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
there's a walk through this one.
Yannick, we should walk like this.
Love you,
Down the
Yannick.
aisle.
It's such a good
Down
time.
the
with him.
aisle, people are coming here with their guests, so there's plenty of, benches for the guests. And
The chapel here at the Ice Hotel hosts up to 30 weddings a year. There might be more, but people do get cold feet.
2 months you build the Ice Hotel.
Yeah.
4,000 people guests stay
Yes.
here. 100,000 people
yeah,
enjoy
$1
it.
million to build.
And it's only here for 3 months.
Yeah, until the end of March. And at the end of March, we knock it down.
What do you mean you knock it down?
Yeah, we have to destroy the whole thing. We cannot wait for Mother Nature
To let it melt?
to let it melt. So, I mean, at the end of March, it's like, okay, thanks. We had good moments. We had, thousands of people in awe with, that hard work. And we destroy it with that feelings of duty well done. And let's wait for the next one.
So
Crazy.
So this resort, again, we say it's a resort. In the summer, they have it's like an amusement. They have amusement rides and stuff. And I scouted it. It was something we were thinking about doing. They have a outdoor skating path, which is really cool. Someday we'll do that somewhere. It was really cool. But not only do they just bulldoze it, they actually bulldoze it into a river that's right on the edge of the property.
So long.
Just so it all just gets
Too bad
taken
you
away
can't
by the
stay.
river. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like you hear it first, right?
Absolutely,
and then
yeah.
you follow the sound, and you just find this place of pure joy. I find it amazing that this city was founded in the early 1600s, and one of its oldest, most historic sites is a toboggan run.
It appeared for the first time on a terrace here in 1884.
1884?
Absolutely. It makes it older than Chateau Frontenac, believe it or not.
Wait, it's older than the
Yeah,
hotel?
it is.
That is incredible.
Hotel was built in 1893.
Just look at that.
I know.
That's a hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's phenomenal.
it's a really special place.
Mhm.
I mean, we've been in really nice hotels around the world, but like that is really special.
Mhm.
And there's a toboggan run right outside of it.
There's a toboggan run.
So a few years later, they figured if there's a slide here, maybe we should have a nice hotel next to it. You want to try it out?
I'm gonna race you. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know you're not going to win, right?
Why not?
Because I'm heavier than you.
Oh.
It's only a question of weight.
I've got a lot of padding on, Mark. I could probably beat you.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, just give it a try.
Why did they put it right near the river? They just thought away from the river would be 10 degrees warmer, and that's not Canadian. It's got to be right on the St. Lawrence where the breeze is coming in
I
from the
think,
Atlantic.
right.
I haven't felt my nose in an hour.
That would be normal. Are we
so
good?
cold.
So-
Wait, stop that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't, is she not here? I thought she was going to be here tonight. So the woman on the right holding the backpack is Christina, my stylist, and that's all my makeup. And so she was like, I'm going down the toboggan run.
Yeah.
I'm going with you. We're like, okay, we'll be in the shot. But she can't put down the makeup. She can't. There's nowhere to put it. So she had it on her back, and we went down.
I mean, you could see just over Christina's head and to the right, that's the St. Lawrence there. It's
Yeah,
it's you know, it was at night, so you couldn't really see the river, but it's a pretty amazing thing being up that high, looking out over the Chateau Frontenac as well as the St. Lawrence River. But he said a funny thing to me when I was scouting that is so old, and there's a mechanism that all of those sleds are kind of held up, and someone pulls a lever and the whole thing drops, and all three go at the same time. And what he was saying is that if that breaks, no one knows how to fix it. I mean, that was built, in 1885, and like,
Holy mackerel.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Like,
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
they built it right.
yeah, it's just one of those, like, it's it's not like there's people that do that for a living that
Yeah.
fix toboggan runs, like,
I
it's-
remember
it's fun.
another part of the conversation we had to cut for time. There's so much that we have to cut for time. It's really actually quite disappointing sometimes.
Yeah.
Was that those toboggans? I was like, oh, are the toboggans 100 years old? He's like, oh my goodness, no. He's like, we have to replace like 900 toboggans every 2 years just because they get such wear and tear. So those are literally like brand new toboggans. So there's probably like one outfit in Canada
Yeah,
that still
yeah.
makes real toboggans,
No, seriously, Sam, you don't have a chance, huh?
That's one of my favorite moments. No, seriously.
See you later!
I do know that many people don't like winter. Quebec City is the paradise of winter. This is the time now for Carnival. We have the Ice Hotel. We have a lot of winter activities. I don't know, it's a dreamy season.
We have a beautiful winter with a lot of different conditions going from minus 30 degrees to, like today, it's quite warm.
Minus 10, minus 20 is awesome. You just need to wear a good jacket and come.
And they all bring back home some incredible memories of something that you will never see somewhere else.
When people come over here, they experience tradition. They experience being like in real life.
When the days are short, but the thrill is long. When being cold as ice can be a thing of beauty. When the big smiles offer all the warmth you need, that is when we share a love of travel. And that's why Quebec City, Canada is a place to love.
Nice.
For more information,
Oh, I miss it.
Yeah.
We gotta go back. We definitely were like, we have to take our kids back there, because the resort that had the ice hotel, it was basically a winter resort. They had toboggan runs,
indoor water park.
Indoor water park, but they
Yep.
also had, and we couldn't show it. It was really, sometimes there are just scenes where like, it's just going to be too hard. It's going to take too long. But one thing they had was ice skating paths, just like how you have a running path. Well, they have ice skating paths.
Yeah.
And it was
I
crazy.
I got 2 different ones of those, and we just had so many great things. We
Yeah.
ended up not even
There was-
featuring one, but
yeah.
it was I went to 2 different ones, and I was like, these are both amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
One was there through the woods a bit around that resort, and the
But,
other
yeah.
one was kind of closer to the river.
Right. But it was just like, at some point we have to, that's the challenge of our job, is just, what we want to do is spend more time doing something right than just doing boom, 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 so many things. So you don't really get a feel for the place. So that was, but I love that. I was also worried I was going to like break my ankle. Like, maybe we'll just stick to the toboggan and and the ice canoeing. It became a little too much.
Well, it's something is that you so focused on like the shot and the scene, and you don't really sometimes don't think like, well, someone could get hurt here. It's possible. I know I was scouting a month after we filmed that, I was scouting a show in Austria, and we were gonna, and we will do the show one day. I'm not worried about it, but it's we're gonna do a skiing thing, and I won't give away what that was, the angle there, but they were also talking about this thing called sledging, and sledging is the German word for sledding, basically. But they have their own run that you do. You rent a little sled, and you take it up a lift, and then you do a sledding run. And I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of a fun other angle to talk about. And it was terrifying. I went off the mountain 3 times. I mean, it was like I couldn't turn. I'm literally going fast, and I'm doing everything I can to turn, and I'm still going fast. And I went into the woods. I'm like, I'm glad I scouted this, because we're not doing this, because it's very dangerous. We have lots of questions.
We do. I love all the comments as well. Should we get to them?
Lots and lots. Sure. I love it. I love your control. Like it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
yes.
great.
Well, that's all I know how to do. How do I get to see all the? I've just been
scroll
saving.
up.
Oh, scroll up.
You gotta move the mouse over there.
Where?
I'll scroll up.
Scroll up. Oh, yeah,
Then you go
yeah.
view
Oh,
queue.
and then view queue. All right.
Pick them, and then
Okay. So let's see. Put this one up here, right? Send it. Okay. Yeah. So even though this Californian would have to buy bulky winter clothes and probably not use them again, I want to go. I agree, James. That's one of the challenges of going to a place during the winter, is you have to have the gear for it, and it's expensive. That jacket that I'm wearing is one of those Canadian Goose jackets, and it costs more than my very first car, and I never have regretted it, because it is cold there. But yeah.
No, but that's what makes the whole thing fun, is if you're dressed for it.
Yeah, you
and
can stay out.
We had a case of those hand warmer things.
The hand warmers things worked. We had lots of hot chocolate breaks. You take it easy. But if in California,
I found some actually.
in your
recently.
case, they probably have an
We bought a
expiration.
case, and I think our friends in Quebec bought a case.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
It was like, because you need all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, you
but,
definitely do.
But if you're dressed for it, and you have all the gear and all the things for it, it's fine.
I think I realized that that Quebecois were different than us. Is it Quebecois? I always thought it was Quebecois.
I always thought Quebecois.
Quebecois, yeah, because there's an E at the end. If there's an E at the end, you pronounce the vowel. You pronounce the consonant. Sorry.
Okay.
Yep, that's how Quebecois.
Sure
So when we were in the lobby of the Frontenac, there was a woman in a stroller. And get this, the stroller, instead of a front wheel, had 2 skis on the baby stroller. And I was like, wow.
Nice.
That's pretty incredible. Let's see. Well done, David Dean, in editing this episode. I agree, Kevin. I absolutely agree. It was just fun from the start. It just, like, right from the beginning, it
Bang.
picks you up
Yeah.
and doesn't let you down. So, yeah, I totally agree. That's why we keep him. That's why we love him. That's why he can never go anywhere else. You need to do Sam from Regina. Hi, Regina. How are you? Nice to see you again. Samantha, you need to do an outtake show. I would love to. It could never air on PBS.
No.
I swear like a sailor.
Yeah.
Sorry. I do. Julien. Oh yeah, this is us at the Canoe à Glace experience. What a cool adventure it was. Congratulations, Samantha. Laurent Ouellette Caroline Bayot, the guides. We had such a great time with you. I have told everyone about this experience. Seriously, if you think that physically you are not up for it, you are. It is just, again, this isn't something that I just had access to, like VIP access to.
Yeah.
This is an experience.
We wouldn't have done it if that
they
was the
give
case.
you. Exactly.
Yeah.
They know how to help you. They know the gear. You don't even have to have your own gear. They give you the gear and
You
stuff.
get to have a hot chocolate on an iceberg.
And cookies.
I mean, come on.
And cookies. I loved it when we were going across and there was like this massive tanker. It's the St. Lawrence
Yeah.
River. It's like one of the massive, biggest entry points into North America there is. And you're just like canoeing. But it was great. I loved it.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I mean, that was,
loved it.
I tell you, when I was scouting that whole thing, it's like, we have to get a shot like that because it's just the shot of the tanker alone I'm looking for it. Keep going.
I think it was right in the beginning, but
It was?
oh yeah, love it. I hope you had a great season. We have some footage of a race going, like right there, so you can see that it is this sport. It's just, and it's ever changing
so
too.
we have
it's
to
like you're in
find
a
our
baseball
way
field where
through
there's always
the ice and the water,
bases and a
to be as-
diamond, and yeah.
So
Here they
friends
are.
there, yeah.
Love them. All right.
Bonnie Fogel asked about visiting in
Bonnie.
April.
I don't know.
I could say that when I was in Quebec City, I heard that, and I was like, oh, this is the best place to be in the winter. And there were a lot of people like, winter's great. Summer's amazing too. Because you're on the river.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so, now what April's like, I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes. If you only have one opportunity, a time, and a place to go somewhere, just do it. That's always been my advice, no matter where. Just go. What I would do is I would check to see if it's not like rainy season. Like, oh no, in April it just pours every single day. These kind of places where they just have this concentrated bad weather. My feeling is it's probably going to be a little chilly, a little wet. But it could be really nice. And I would imagine that's also a shoulder season, so the prices are really low.
Yeah.
And tourism is, of course, a little low. So I think, why not? But I would just check to make sure, like how you forget, like, oh, there's a hurricane season. That's why you wouldn't go.
Right.
Clearly not something you have to worry about in Quebec City.
I think we should establish, did you spend the night in the ice hotel?
Oh, gosh, no.
No, she did not. But again, we're working. We're not just having fun and enjoying life. It's like we're going on the next thing.
I once remember when I did the sledding.
Yeah.
That I did dog sledding in Eli, Minnesota, and we actually slept on the ice on a lake, a frozen lake, and it was one of the most challenging experiences of my life. And I was there with Christina too. My stylist was right there by me.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience. Don't need to have it again.
Lana Lee asked what network carries the show. It's PBS. Your local PBS or public television station carries it, and we're on 97% of households in America. So unless you live somewhere really, really remote, I think you probably can get it on.
Well, I mean, yeah, and if you can't, then you can also just go on to our website where we stream every single. You can stream every single episode.
Samantha-brown.com.
Yeah,
that's right.
So no barrier.
Rachel is asking me a question: gin or cognac in the 75? Traditionally, it's gin, but cognac or brandy is an option. Yeah. But traditionally, it's gin.
Mm-hmm. Never thought of gin being something French. I always thought gin was sort of Englishy. So cognac makes sense to me then.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It is, but yeah. Well, this is a funny comment.
Great comment, Mandy.
This is the beautiful street, the
Yeah.
Petit Champlain. Petit Champlain, is that what it's called?
Petit Champlain, yeah. She was a travel host looking for love.
He was a woodcarver
Who
who
didn't
raised
want
the
it.
whole neighborhood up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
She loved Santas. He made them.
Yeah. That's like that wrote itself right there. Boom,
It did.
done.
It did.
There was a whole dialogue about.
I'm sorry.
I saw the headline for this, but I didn't click on it. That
you thought it was clickbait.
There is a real thing that the Canadian government released, just like the United States government released the oil reserves. The Canadian government has a maple syrup reserve, and I am not joking. That's a serious thing, and that is not any sort of having fun with our neighbors to the north. This is a real thing. That's serious business there, and they tapped in.
It was
into
Eric,
their
good joke.
Yeah,
you can hang with us anytime with that kind of humor.
Yeah, but
did they really? So there was
did,
a reserve.
Yeah, the question is why? Because I mean, the trees are still there. It's probably just getting trucks in and out. And, it's amazing, the whole supply chain, that any little thing can pinch the whole setup. Cindy, our friend Cindy asked.
Cindy, how are you?
I thought
Nice
about
to
it,
see you.
and I tell you what, if we had any of that awesome maple syrup left, I was really tempted to do it. And I actually, we've had a bottle of Canadian ice wine in our freezer for about 10 years. But that's from Ontario, not Quebec.
Oof.
And so I was just
No,
like,
we were purists. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
and then I was thinking, well, maybe I could use maple syrup. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather do something from the hotel because they have such a really nice bar there. I might have had a few drinks there.
I didn't
Research.
because I go to
Research.
bed by 9 because I have to work.
I was researching things. Mark asked about the camera people have to do for early shots. Yeah, I was standing on the shore and I saw exactly what you're saying happen. Marco, our B camera guy, was walking and all of a sudden his leg just went straight
disappeared.
in.
Yeah.
And he
has a 32-pound camera on him, making sure that he's like a little more top heavy. And
and it was
he just shook it off too.
Yeah.
And that's what camera people are a different breed. It's like they don't see danger even through their lens.
They see the shot.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever I'm doing, they're doing it backwards. Like I remember someone made a comment about, remember Bear Grylls? I mean, actually, I think he still has like a lot of very popular series.
He does,
and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what he does is so dangerous. Like, Bear Grylls is dangerous. What about his cameraman? He's doing it going backwards, holding a camera.
It's true.
You're
Very
like,
true.
yeah, absolutely. And he's getting none of the glory. Or she. Oh, so yeah, our camera team is awesome.
Our friend Jeff, and since Julian is on online, this is about the ice canoeing. What bar the person was in, they came up with the idea like, hey, let's have our ice canoe race. We'll just canoe across the river, and when we run into ice, let's just jump up and run across it and then jump back in the canoe when there's not ice.
First of all, Jeff, it's great to see you again. Great to be talking to you. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And Jeff always has the great questions. He also has a first person experience with things. A lot of our travels as well. But this was another thing we cut from the show. We explain how it all happened, and that is in times at the St. Lawrence River there were no ferries. There was no way to get across. I mean, these were like colonial times, right? There were no ferries. The only way across the St. Lawrence River was by canoe. There were no bridges, no ferries. And so once there were these things, the Quebecois missed it. And so then they turned it into a sport because they're just like, well, wait a minute. We loved doing this because you had to, no matter what time of year, you had to get across that river. So it was a necessity first, and then it turned into a sport.
If you think about technology-wise...
Which, can we talk about curling? Was that ever a necessity? And the fact that Kevin can sweep, no problem.
We'll get to curling. We'll spend at least 20 minutes on that.
Can't pick up a vacuum.
Sorry. But I'm showing the shot. I mean, can you imagine what kind of wooden hulled sailing vessel would go across that in February? It makes sense that the only thing that could get there is a canoe with...
Well, they were tough people. I mean, you remember Bugs Bunny, Bloc Jacques de la Jacques, right? The hunter? He was Quebecois.
But you asked me to talk
Bugs
curling
Bunny.
for 20 minutes, so
I'll please don't.
An old friend of yours.
I know, exactly. Smith, I
New
worked
Tampa.
with you at Paredes with David Richards. Oh my gosh. Incredible. Nice to talk to you again, to see you. Paredes. That was an Italian restaurant on 72nd and Columbus. It was my first job in New York City. I moved to New York City in 1992, got a job at Paredes, and just did the whole waiting on tables thing for close to 10 years. But Paredes was my first job, and it was great. It was great. What was really fun about waiting on tables in New York City is we were the Italian restaurant, and then right across the street was an American restaurant where they had mussels and hamburgers, and then we had the Mexican restaurant, and then you had the Chinese restaurant. And every night, the staff, we would just call each other and we would exchange food. So we didn't have to eat Italian, because when you're part of the staff, you get to eat whatever food you want, but then you get really tired of chicken francese every single night. So we would call the Chinese restaurant. They'd be like, yeah, send us over the Italian, send us over some kung pao chicken. Okay, I want mussels, I want a burger. And we'd all help each other out. So it's kind of funny, this little hidden culture, but nice to see you again.
You know, I had that similar story when I was in high school. I worked at McDonald's, and the guys from Burger King would come across the parking lot.
Is that right?
And like in their Burger King outfits to McDonald's. Actually, no, it's not. Really.
Okay.
Not the same thing. Gayla Mathis asked a great question. When do we start filming our next series? Well, Gayla,
we already have it. Yeah.
I have to say that we are in what's called post-production, which means after we actually film everything, we spend months and months editing and making sure the colors look right and the sound sounds good and all the things that it takes to deliver the show ultimately to the network, which is the show you're watching when you watch on television. That's what we're doing now, but we are planning to start up again in March. We actually already have 3 episodes ready to start, 1 in March and 2 in April, and a couple others in the hopper. So like we are.
Can we say what they are? Or should we wait?
I like a little surprise.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
you got to tune in for that.
Okay.
You got to earn it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But no, we're really excited that things are actually kind of coming together earlier than they typically have, as far as kind of, usually I don't have 3 episodes, maybe even 4 planned this far out. So
yeah.
It's great.
No, exactly. I agree.
Do we have one more? No way.
David Dean used to go to Paredes all the time? When? When did you go to Paredes? Did I wait on you? Oh my gosh,
That is crazy.
Now that's a Hallmark movie.
In a world.
I know.
In a world.
First of all, I was a very good waitress. I was. Yeah, I love it.
That's amazing.
That is
Wow.
amazing. Yeah, well, it was a staple. Paredes was a staple. People loved Paredes, and it's probably like a Panera bread
What
right
years
now.
were you there?
I was there from 93. I think I worked there for 4 years. Yeah, so
93,
and then I moved
97.
to Bryant Park Grill, which is a really nice restaurant in Bryant Park in New York City. And then I got the Travel Channel gig. Pretty crazy. But yeah, I waited on tables a long time in New York City. It's a great way to make money.
Wow.
Good people too.
Great.
Yep.
Well, so I think seems like a good time to
I think so,
say
too.
goodnight. We are going to be back next week at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Let's keep
and
this
we're
going.
really excited that we'll be back talking about the Hudson Valley, Dutchess County of New York.
Fantastic. Yeah, exactly.
And, that was a little bit of a cheater for us because, just we'll talk about this next week. But, we have a little farmhouse there, and we spent a lot of time during the pandemic there. And as we started kind of feeling like we were more confident that we could do an episode, because we had already shot one beautiful episode that you just watched in Quebec City. And we're like,
we were on a roll.
We need to raise our game to match that level, because this episode was so good that we were like, well, we have a great place here in Dutchess County, around Poughkeepsie and Millbrook, Millerton, all these different towns in the county. And so that kind of led us to come back into production in October of that year. So this is October of 2020. So, a little longer than a year ago. And so that'll be next week. And we'll be here for 4 more weeks. And then that leads us into the premiere of season 5 on your local PBS station. So we're really, really happy to be back. I mean, I got to feel like we love doing these, but we need a show to talk about, because I think it'd be kind of a long show of us chatting for an hour just about stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And Sharon Rizzo, who is from Dutchess County, I believe.
Sharon.
Yeah.
I think she's from Poughkeepsie, I think Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or maybe.
I thought it was Sharon. Where are you from? I thought you were... Well, we probably shouldn't call that out. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry.
It's true. We're in a different world now.
Exactly. We don't like to tell people.
She's roundabout the Dutchess County way. That's where she's from.
It's just, north of New York City.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
We get it. Yeah, good point.
Hey, we are so happy to be with you, back with you again. It was wonderful seeing so many of your faces, so many of your comments, people who we started this journey with, oh my gosh, in our darkest times. And it's really, you're the highlight of our week too. So we will see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Dutchess County, Mid-Hudson, New York, Hudson Valley, New York. Beautiful place. And until then, take care.
Good night.
Those babies are still awake. I know they are.